Cutting carbs is a bad idea. What's up guys, my name is Tyrone Black, this is LDU Fitness, and in today's video we're going to be talking about cutting carbs and why it's a bad idea if you are trying to build muscle. So let's go over why cutting carbs works for weight loss. You know what I'm saying? So the first part of why it works is because it lowers your insulin. What insulin does is that it forces the body to store excess energy as fat. So if it stores excess energy as fat, it also limits the breakdown of that fat. Now, when your insulin is lower, it'll force the body to tap into your fats and use it as energy, as the primary source of energy. So the second reason as to why it will cause weight loss is that it naturally lowers calories. Now this is obvious. So one thing you guys should understand is that 9 times out of 10, and you guys can test this, 9 times out of 10, the types of junk food that you guys go for, your cravings, etc., those of you who are weird as hell, you know what I'm saying, little bitches having cravings like women, bro, you know what I'm saying. So most of the cravings that you go for will more typically be carbs, right? So you'll have like your chips, your donuts, your cakes, your fries, etc. These things will be carbs, brownies, whatever, chapati, you know, those of you who like the African cuisine. So low carbs tends to, number one, it's going to reduce your hunger and cravings for these things, and you'll end up consuming a lot more protein, which leaves you more satiated. And generally speaking, like I said, most of the junk food that people go for will more typically be carbs. So when you completely cut out carbs, you will effectively be cutting out all the food that drastically raises your calories, right? So that's why cutting carbs is going to be effective, highly effective for weight loss. Another reason why is glycogen depletion. So when you're depleted, what happens is you will also drop in water weight. So let's talk about this depletion some more. So as a bodybuilder, we use this as a strategy to cause like drastic weight loss, but here's why it's bad for muscle growth if done for a long period of time. So when you're in a depleted state, you have to understand that your strength is going to be lower over time. Your strength and your intensity are going to be lower over time. So the reason why this is because carbs are your body's primary fuel source. Your body will prioritize carbs over fat, right? So if your body is prioritizing carbs, right, and you don't have that primary fuel source, you end up finding that working out at that high intensity, working out, trying to build strength, it's going to become unsustainable over time, right? So when you're in a depleted state, that's what tends to happen. So because of that, it's inefficient for muscle growth, right? It's perfect, it's very perfect for weight loss, but it's inefficient for muscle growth, right? Because you're in a depleted state. You know what I'm saying? So you have low water in your body, you have low glycogen, and that is number one. That's number one when it comes to a fuel source for your workout. So what's my final verdict? Cutting carbs is good. Is good if your primary goal is weight loss. If your primary goal is to lose weight drastically, you can cut carbs drastically. You can totally cut carbs from your diet, go on a full ketogenic diet, right? However, if your primary goal is to gain muscle, it is a very bad idea. It's a dumb idea, in fact, might I add, right? So if your goal is to gain muscle, don't do this unless you're about to hop on stage. Because when you're about to hop on stage as a bodybuilder, I know it's short term. You cutting carbs is going to be short term, but in the long term, you want to do it all year round. Your gains are going to suffer. You know what I mean? And your muscles as well, they're going to flatten out. I mean, most of you are here because you want to have an aesthetic physique. You want to have low body fat, high muscle mass. But without carbs, your muscles are going to flatten out. Like I told you guys about the pump, getting a pump, etc. This is part of it. This is part of you being able to get a pump, being properly fed, right? Eating the right amount of carbs, the right amount of protein, the right amount of fats. That is what's going to get you the pump while you're working out, not trying to bang out, you know, reps with a 2 kg dumbbell. No, that ain't gonna work, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a bodybuilder or a guy that's your main goal is to gain muscle, I'm gonna show you how to do this, right? I'm gonna show you how to reduce your body fat percentage without fully cutting carbs. So what you're gonna do is reduce the amount of carbs that you're taking. You know what I'm saying? So when you reduce the amount of carbs that you're taking, now what you're gonna do is split it up and time your carbs. So personally for me, when I'm cutting, what I do is I time my carbs. So I'll eat a heavy carb meal early in the morning, you know what I'm saying? So I want to get that digestion, I want my body to break it down, and then I'll eat a certain amount of carbs 30 minutes to an hour before my workout. Why? For energy, right? For the energy during the workout. So first of all, the carbs that are broken down in my body, and then the carbs that I've eaten an hour before my workout, it's all cumulative, and it's going to help me gain more muscle mass. It's going to help me perform well in the gym, because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. If you fully cut out carbs from your diet, yes, you will lose weight. However, it is going to limit your ability to perform in the way you need to perform if you want to make maximum gains.
Watch for your friends, your family. Watch for them niggas that riding they envy. Watch for the women, I'm never too friendly. Watch for the drugs, they leave you dependent. Better pick your side. Loyalty is the do or you die. Any months, I'm taking my time. Never rush when the door suicide.